Well, I want to begin by thanking for the opportunity to be in this historical meeting. We are making history here, and that is why most of us are stimulated to speculate about the future. Future is the opposite of history. History is a science, because the past is already here to interpret, to research, whatever you want to do with the past. You will not change anymore. And future is for the philosophy. We don't have the power to guess what is going to happen tomorrow. But on the other hand, in this world, which was so aptly described by Michael, we have to guess, and we have to participate in the building of the future, which happens every day. I think that solidarity economy was not created in one place. It didn't start in Brazil, it didn't start in India, or it didn't start in one place. Nowadays, I am convinced that solidarity economy began with humanity. It is as old as humanity is. And this is shown to us by the so-called traditional populations. Everywhere, in all continents, we have peoples who did not change their values, their way of life, their religious beliefs, and their social behavior. And the impressive thing about those so-called traditional peoples is that all of them, without any exception, at least known to me, they practice something very close to what we imagine nowadays to be solidarity economy. These traditional peoples, which some of us see as primitive, not civilized, are cooperative, are democratic. They don't oppress their women, they don't oppress their children like we do, we the civilized, rich people. And they do it for I don't know how many generations. So to say that solidarity economy was created by someone in this century, I think is a mistake. We started because we had to, given the enormous crisis that capitalism created and doesn't stop to create since neoliberalism became the dominant stream of thought and practice. But this defensive reaction, which was successful and is successful everywhere, is inspired by the heritage that the traditional populations offer us every day. I will speak about Brazil, it's my country, because we have nowadays in Brazil, but also in most other South American countries, a living battle between the so-called Indians and other traditional people, mostly descendants of African slaves. We have over 3,000 in Brazil, 3,000 Quilombo communities. They are an important source of inspiration for all of us, besides many, many Indian communities too. We have to learn from them. They, of course, have to learn from us. I think the process which we are living and putting in movement in all continents now is this dialectical encounter of the over-civilized and the so-called primitive, which are not primitive at all. We have to create. And I think the example which Michael offered us are very, very important, very, very inspiring, because it is happening everywhere, in all countries, in all continents. Common people, people from civil society, improve, invent, create, out of necessity, out of fear for the future, another society. It is being created before our eyes if we are able to see. And government has in this process an important role if it doesn't want to sabotage it. Every government, sooner or later, will have to take a stand towards this process. It is an interesting, pacific process of change. Nobody was killed. No blood was spilled. It is just the solidarity. I think of the solidarity or social solidarity economy. The important thing is the recovery of solidarity. When neoliberalism became dominant in the 1970s, apparently at least, solidarity was forgotten. Competition was everything that matters. And more competition, better. And the result was so terrible and is so terrible. We have epidemics of suicides, economic suicides in Europe. It never happened before, as much as I know. What we are doing is to defend ourselves and at the same time build the future. And government can help as long as it does not intend to direct the process. I think this is the main thing I would like to suggest as a subject for our discussions. Governments must help, must support, and above all, must learn. Government have no mandate to lead this process. If it would like to lead, it would lose the best of its originality, the democratic practice. So I myself am proud to be able, I'm now over 10 years in the Brazilian government, at the Secretariat of Solidarity Economy, that we did not disturb, we did help, I hope, but anyway, we did not deviate this revolutionary process of building a new economy, a new polity, a new way of living together, of relating towards each other. And nowadays I would like to end my speech telling that we lost the shame of speaking about happiness. Happiness, I was ashamed myself. It's something so intimate, so personal, so psychological, that trying to make happiness a goal for policies, for economy, for collective action seems impossible. But thanks to a small Buddhist kingdom in the Himalayas, Bhutan, we lost the shame, and they mobilized, I would say, an elite of intellectuals from everywhere to study, to investigate the roots of happiness, and of course, the root of unhappiness. And this collective effort over the world has been very fruitful. Fruitful for governments. I'm part of it. I was convoked and participating with enthusiasm because there is lots to be learned. But I was given the opportunity to write a background paper to the last meeting we had in Bhutan this year. And the only thing I could do in this background paper was to recommend solidarity economy as a very possible way towards happiness, taking into account lots of findings. I don't know if everybody knows, but there is every year a very large, tremendously large world survey on happiness in all countries, over 200 countries. And the results are open to whoever wants to read and study them. But anyway, it is quite clear, for me at least, but I think for all of us who has the privilege of practice something of the solidarity economy, that solidarity economy is one important way, I'm not saying the only one, but one important way to combat unhappiness and suicide, and from the other hand, give people together, people in communities, the opportunity to build together their happiness. Happiness is not made by individuals, nor by families alone. They are done by communities. Since I was in Bhutan before that, reading the literature and the findings of happiness, I am more convinced than ever that community is the normal, important way of realizing human values in a human world. Thank you very much.